Hi, I'm Jarrod Fry, General Manager of MedinaTV, and I want to welcome you to this year's edition of Candidates Forum.
Hi, I'm Jaclyn Ringstmeier, Executive Director of the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce, and we are once again pleased to partner with MedinaTV to bring you this voter education series.
The views expressed by the candidates in these forums are not those of MedinaTV or the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce.
All candidates in contested races were invited to participate. These interviews are meant to be informational without endorsement from MedinaTV or the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce. Please enjoy this year's Candidates Forum.
Joining us in studio now is a candidate for Medina Township Trustee, Doug Eastwood. Doug, thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
For those people that may not know Doug Eastwood, why don't you take a few minutes and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a lifetime member of Medina, born and raised here. Graduated high school here in 1981. Had the privilege of serving on the school board from 2013 to 2019. And I own and operate a local excavating company, Medina Excavating. And in the most recent times, I had an opportunity to step in and fill a spot vacated on a trustee board in Medina. So I put my hat in the ring and was fortunately allowed to hold that position. I have a wife and two daughters, graduated from college. One is finishing her master's right now at Akron. And just glad to be here.
Great, we're glad to have you. Also for the residents and voters at home, kind of explain the role of a township trustee.
Well, as I understand the trustee, I mean, basically you have three trustees in the township, and we oversee the business aspects of the township. We have trustees that oversee the police department, the roads and bridges, the zoning, and each of those departments run themselves to the greatest extent. But there's people have to make decisions for purchases and making payments and planning, coordinating. And so that's the business aspect of it. The other end is just a representative of the local community. And that's where you have to look and beyond yourself. You have to look, it's not really what I want, but what is the community telling me? Most recently, we had an opportunity in Medina Township to do that, where there was a possible zoning change. And through the course of events and the procedure that took place, I was able to, I believe, represent the people in not allowing a zoning change to take place. That was pretty emotional. Not anything against any of the people involved, just that community didn't want that to change. So as a representative of the community, I did my part to help in that.
Now, of course, we're talking about you running for the position now here in November, but take us back a little bit. What made you decide to run for the appointment?
Well, living in Medina Township, I was raised, well, from the time I'm 72 till 83, I lived in Medina Township, and then I moved to Medina for a few years. I got married. I went to Montville for about 10 years. But about 2011, had a chance where my father had passed away and my mother was ill, so I got to help her quite a bit. And when she passed away, through the works of the family and whatnot, I ended up buying the house from the estate from with my brother and sister. So we moved back to the Foskett Road residence, and caring about a community is, if you've lived there your whole life, you remember what it was like, and you can never turn the clock back, but you were proud of where you lived. And Medina Township has struggled from time to time. When people would talk about it, you might see an eye roll. You might see someone comment under their breath about, the happenings or the way things happen. And a current trustee resigned, and that really prompted me to look into it a little bit and say, can we make it better? Just make it more normal. Mm-hmm. And that's what got me plugged in.
So then you get into office as a trustee and got your feet wet in there. So what now is the push to go for the election? Because you were appointed, that opens up the spot that you have to run for election here in November. I guess, is it the same reasons, or do you have other reasons now as you go for this election this November?
Well, in the process of being appointed, we were all interviewed by Judge Dunn, and I'm pretty sure everybody probably got same questions. And one of the questions he asked was, if I do appoint you, will you run in the fall? I want to make this appointment one that's going to last. So, do I have your word? I believe in that. So I gave him my word. That was the initial driving force. And I've been encouraged by some of the residents that they have seen a difference, even in our local meetings, to restore a little bit of normalcy, even amongst the trustees. Just the ability to improve communication, which is something that I think I do pretty well. I have, when I was on the school board, was able to kind of just help the team work better as a team, help the individuals, less animosity, more let's work with each other and get to the end. So I'd like to see that, where that can go in another 4 years.
So what do you think is the biggest issues or obstacles that the trustees face if elected in this next term? What would you be facing?
Currently, we're working on stabilizing a police department. We've had some pretty devastating blows in the last year. A number of people have left the department. So we're in the process of hiring a chief right now, which is, I think, a pinnacle point. We're taking that very seriously, as well as the PD is doing interviews for officers. In the past, Medina Township was told they were going to get additional officers. There were levies put in place, there were commitments made verbally, but we didn't get the additional staff. That's something I want to work towards, is getting the staff we told the people they'd have. So stabilizing the police department, helping give them support. I think they need that. I think the police as general have had kind of less than the best support system. At our township, it's no different. And we have some exceptional people there. So want to encourage the ones we have, and hopefully bring in a few more qualified people. That's probably our biggest push right now. We do work with the city on fire protection, and they do a great service for us, so want to keep that going. Our roads and bridges guy, Denny Miller, is fantastic. He's been there a long time. I say I oversee them, but it's a really easy job. But we also relate really well because of my background in construction. And Denny and I can, go through things, and I think that's a really good relationship. I just want to help Medina Township be a place that people want to be. They want to come home, they want to do their job, they don't want a drama, they don't want to be in the newspaper. So that's kind of where I'm at.
And then how do you feel the state of the township's in terms of fiscally? Do you feel they're fiscally sound? Do you feel like you have to go to taxpayers for future help down the road, or what is the status of their financial situation right now?
I believe we're fiscally sound. I went through my first budget meeting in June, and while that was a unique experience, that gets tweaked here at the end of the year. One of the things we need to do is to adjust our police budget, and there's a number of ways to do that, which we've taken into steps as far as the levies that we have tweaked moving forward. There were some minor adjustments we did there. We were heavy on the EMS, so rather than let that continue to grow, we cut that back some, and we got emergency services, which we can use in a number of different ways. So it helps us be a little more flexible without asking for a lot more money. And I think we're in pretty solid shape. So.
And you mentioned a little earlier dealing with constituents and looking to the constituents. Well, I know on all the different issues that may come up, and you've mentioned some of those here with some of your answers. How do you handle your relationship with constituents? I know it's always easy when everyone agrees with you, but when you have people that may have another side of the story or another scope of it, they may be passionate about it as well. How do you handle that relationship with those that might have a differing view?
That was something I got to say. I learned a lot when I was on the school board, and I take a lot with that to this relationship. And you're absolutely right. There is some passion going on, and it is not always the same. But it doesn't mean you have to be enemies. I don't know if I want to use names. I could use names. I think it would be appropriate. But I remember when a young lady by the name of Becky Parkhurst got appointed to the school board. She and I don't necessarily see eye to eye on all the big political things, but I also know she cares about Medina. We could work through things because we both cared about the kids. We cared about the staff. We didn't let the passions of our personal beliefs get in the way of the big picture. And so I'm really thankful for being able to work through things with somebody that, I mean, she's a powerful force, and she's really good at what she does, and she really cares. Taking that to the township, I can share that with guys as well, that we might be opposite on the direction something has to go, but these are not political appointments. We're all neighbors, and we live in a community. And so if we can focus on that, yeah, we might not agree, whether it's about a police chief or you name it, you know. That tolerance without giving in, I'm looking for that word, but you don't have to concede in order to still win. And I'm thankful that we can work together for the better good.
We're speaking with Doug Eastwood, one of the candidates for the Medina Township trustee position. One of 3 candidates. They'll elect the top 2 vote getters for the 2 trustee spots for Medina Township. And the other thing, Doug, you talk about the constituents and communicating. How vital is communication, especially in a township where maybe people are spread out a little more and trying to talk to people? How vital is communication? Communication is key. And again, I take a lot from my previous scenario at the school board. You can't talk amongst one another in the off things about the business of the school. And the same thing in the township. Now you're down to only 3 of you, and you meet twice a month. So initially it was a real unique situation, trying how do you work through things. Well, then you're able to get committees, and you work through some committees. So a trustee will take and form a committee, and then that committee comes back and makes recommendations. Communication has been a challenge at Medina Township, and that's what I was told before I got on. That was what I was told after I got on, and it sounds like that's gotten better. And so I want that to keep getting better. Doesn't have to break any rules. Just a matter of using the tools you have. But you need to know what is going to be discussed. You need to plan for that discussion. So when you get together on that twice a month, or you have special meetings, that you can be productive with your time. So yeah, communication's key. Yeah. And now, I guess as you look at the other candidates running, what are some traits or qualities that set you apart from those candidates? Well, first of all, I'll put out that I like both the other candidates. And you'll never hear me, I pray you never hear me go negative on anybody or anything. Don't believe in that. What might set me apart is, in one, with Mike, is the communication thing. Mike's a great guy. He's got a great heart. So many things nobody knows that he's done for people and offered to help people. I think I can help in the communication line, maybe help him in the communication. Mike is the liaison for the police department right now, so he's got a lot on his plate. You know, he's trying to navigate, the best process for the new chief, trying to encourage the existing Sergeant Seja, who is our interim chief, to run the department well. But communication's big there. Mike has more experience as the trustee, so he knows more of the process than I do right now. And we got a good team of people in the administration, though. I'm confident we can help. That can help me with those areas that I might lack. Bruce, I've known of Bruce for some time. I like Bruce.
Bruce is a real intelligent guy. He has time to do a lot more research on stuff than I do. So, you know, a feather in his cap for that. I think that when you're looking at me, I'm just trying to do the best I can for my community in the areas that I can do it. I don't try to make up stuff I can't do. The stuff I can do, I try to do it well.
That's good. Again, speaking with Doug Eastwood, candidate for Medina Township trustee, and I appreciate you taking your time to answer the questions I had for you, but I want to make sure I give you the opportunity if there's a question I missed or something you just want to tell the voters. I want to turn the microphone over to you and let you talk directly to them right now.
Well, thank you, and I really appreciate the opportunity to run this year for Township trustee. I just made a comment that I am about trying to do what's best for the community. I think all three trustee choices are good this year. I don't think anyone has a hidden agenda. If I am elected, I will continue to do the best I can as far as listening to the people, representing the people, and providing Medina Township with a more normal, less dramatic way of living. So if you would and you feel compelled, please vote for me.
All right, thank you. Again, that's Doug Eastwood. And Doug, I want to thank you for taking the time with us here today, and also thank you for putting your hat in the political arena. I commend everyone that does that. It's a big leap for people to do, and sometimes it's a thankless job when you head into it. But I want to at least thank you for doing that, and I want to wish you the best of luck this November.
Thank you very much, Darren.